All right, welcome everybody to the Save Club Powerline Friday night cutoff webinar. So Friday night in the US, wherever you're at in the world, it might be Saturday morning. And so this is one of our most important, in fact, the most important weekly call. So if you are brand new here, we will share a couple basics. We're going to change things up a little bit tonight. My name is Jason. I am here, hosting this and feel very honored to be here. Super grateful. I'm going to introduce my co-partner here, Pete, which is just tearing up the ranks and has done some incredible things. And so this is what many leaders I've talked to all around the world, probably the fastest growing, biggest launch, already the biggest, hottest thing of all of 2025. And we are only 25 days in. We launched this thing on April 21st, Monday, about 12:30 Pacific or Mountain. I don't remember, but it has been 3.5 of the greatest weeks of my entire life. I am so excited and really excited to share what we're going to bring some cool things to you tonight. We have a couple new videos for you. And as Pete was saying earlier before we started the recording, we're gonna share like a little bit some different angles that you maybe haven't seen yet. And so with all that said, gonna introduce my friend Pete Delmonico. So Pete, I will just say this. He has one of the biggest hearts of anybody I've ever met. He is also the most networked person I've ever met in 19 years in this industry. And he knows everyone. It seems everyone knows him. And he just, I love this guy. I have his back for life. He's become one of my closest friends here over the past several months. And so I'm super excited to introduce him. I'm pretty sure he's probably, if this matters, I'm pretty sure he's has the biggest team, biggest income, everything else. But more importantly, he has the biggest heart. And I know both he and I have talked a lot about we're so excited to get up every morning. We've been wanting this for so long, where you wake up whatever time your eyes pop open in the morning, and you're just excited to go bless more lives, to go help more people, to go help more people save, to go help more people earn. And so, Pete, I'm going to throw this over to my friend. Let's bring it, bring it.
Love you, brother. Love you. And that's all true, man. We've had so much fun already. It's crazy. A month ago, people didn't even know this was going to exist, and it's not just me and Jason. A lot of people are just in love with what we're doing, and really wanted to drop everything like I did and like Jason did just to get after it. So I was with a company for 10 years, still with them technically. Great time. Great. I had that passion. I used to jump out of bed in the morning. Over the years, it kind of wore off, and some crazy things happened, and they sold the company recently. And I just got a phone call from a friend, and he said, are you doing okay, man? I'm sorry, I saw what happened and everything. And he said, have you talked to Charles lately? And I said, yeah, I talked to Charles. I love Charles. We've been on a lot of ski trips together over the last dozen years. And what I love about Charles is, real quick, is that I never worked with him. I'd be on these ski trips. You get up in the morning, you're like rubbing your eyes, and he's already cleaned the house up. He's already got breakfast, delicious breakfast cooked for everybody. And then he was the first one on the mountain with a snowboard. I'm like, I'm on vacation. What is with this guy? What's with all the motivation? And that's just how he is. He just wrote a book. He creates products for MLMs. He's doing all this stuff, and him and my friend, they just cared about my situation. I was actually going to hang up, and he goes, "Hey man, would you be open to taking a look at something? Nobody really knows about it." And I was like, "Sure, if Charles is involved, I would." And so me and him got on the phone. We started talking. I said, "When are you going to launch this thing? I love this idea. I've loved this idea for more than a decade. I just have never found a good situation where someone did it right." He told me his vision. I said, "When are you going to do this?" He said, "Like the middle of April." I said, "No way." I bought tickets to that bubble thing in Vegas like a year ago to see the Grateful Dead, and I'm going to be in Vegas then. That's where Charles lives. And he said, "Dude, let's hang out. Let's hash it out. Let's figure out how you can be a big part of it. And I was like, oh my God. So I went, we hung out about 5 different nights. I went to his office, went out to dinner. He just had knee surgery. So he was really cool about getting around and stuff, even with his, knee surgery. And I had the best time. I got home Sunday night, Monday morning, we launched it. And guys, I got one link out before I totally screwed up everything. I forgot to send it to some people. Other people joined other people because I didn't get to them. I was all disheveled. I remember I got one link out and then everything kind of went crazy. But doesn't matter because when you're excited about something and you know it's going to work out in the long run, everything kind of fell into place anyway. And everything it was meant to be. And luckily I told Jason about it. I really didn't even think he was going to do it. I thought, he's not going to be interested. He's got other things going on because he's really into software and AI and everything. And I'm like, this won't excite him. It's such an easy idea. But he came back to me. He was like, you know what, dude? I freaking love this idea. And we started talking more and more. And we were already becoming really good friends even before that. But he's brought some amazing people. He's got his friend Matt, who hopefully can jump on for a second. I love Matt. I've been a big fan of Matt. I didn't really know him that well because I knew he was busy, but now Matt and I are becoming close, and his buddy Aaron and different people that I've always really looked up to, and now I get to work with them and hang out with them and talk all the time and stuff, and so it's just a complete and utter dream come true. But the product, saving money as a product, where you're not buying an expensive auto ship, you're not, pretending that you like something just to get a paycheck and everything. Everybody loves to save money. Me and my wife, I live in San Diego. We go to happy hour all the time. I love to get deals on dinner. I love the free appetizer. I've always kind of loved that. I didn't grow up with very much money, so I've always tried to be frugal and everything. And I just love the idea of saving money as a product. So I waited, 10 years ago, Jason and I were in a business, not necessarily, tightly close, but it was like a cashback deal, and it was a cool idea. They didn't really follow through. Even a year ago, I tried to do something, but it didn't work out. It wasn't just, Charles is a missing ingredient, honestly, guys. He works from 5 in the morning till late at night every night. And be honest with you, he's kind of happy for other people to step up and do these Zooms because he just wants to make deals. Like he wants to make deals in Asia. He wants to get pay done in India. He wants to make deals in Africa. Like that's all he wants to do. And it's a broad, broad range of industries, guys. So what you see in the back office represents, if I had to speculate, about 1% of what's going to be back there. We're going to help people with all kinds of different things in their life. Literally everything that you do, whether it be a restaurant and a resort, you're going on vacation, you're taking your kids to Disneyland, whatever it is, we want to be a part of that to save you money so that when you walk out the door, you realize that there's people that appreciate your business and there's people that are just doing business. And we want to gravitate towards the people that want you in those seats at the restaurant, at the resort, and they're willing to do something for you, whether it be a coupon, a cashback, whatever kind of discount it is. We're going to demand that as a community, and we're going to attract the biggest retailers out there. So, and Charles has taken it to another level because he shared with me how we're going to disrupt the advertising industry, how we're going to use AI in a way that nobody's really doing. Everybody's trying to sell each other AI and make it all these cool little things. Well, Charles is going to provide us with the most high-tech custom AI ever soon. And I'm talking very, very soon. That's going to blow your guys' mind. So, Jason, maybe you want to share one of the videos
Yeah,
just to mix
I
it up a little
actually,
bit?
Pete, I wanted to jump in. You were talking about
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
saving cash back, and I just saw this today. Gentleman named Jose in one of our Facebook groups, he saved $768, and he shares up here, when they say this membership pays for itself, they aren't lying. That's an insane amount in savings, and I was able to add the passes for the kids. Listen to this, which we could not do last time because it was too much for us. Thank you, Save Club. And it shows right on the screen minus 768 for 2 adults and 2 kids for their passes, which is I got so inspired seeing that. And we're still in pre-launch, guys. We're not even launched yet. And actually I didn't realize when Pete mentioned just 1%. I've been telling people I thought we had about 10% of the deals that we will have, but I also know like Charles' main focus, like Pete said, is just getting out there and sourcing deals. He's incredibly good at it. He's an incredible workhorse, and he already has a background. He already has a lot of relationships, and so it's just like Pete said, it's a dream come true.
Yeah, put it
And
this way, right after the launch, 2 days after we launched, he went to Florida to the biggest cashback trade show for a whole week and was negotiating with all kinds of people. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, it's
Um,
perfect.
but let me just say something about Jason. Jason got after this. He's got over 130 personals. He hit 4-star right away. He's got some of the best people in this industry already involved, and we're just getting started, guys. So, if I didn't say that, I just can't thank you enough for being my partner on this. And I mean, you've made it so much more enjoyable because I know every day when I wake up, there's somebody out there that really loves what we're doing as much as I do. Besides the CEO, obviously he loves it too. But it's a dream come true working with you, brother. I'll let you continue, and I'm going to sit back and enjoy it from.
I appreciate it, Pete. It's what I actually want to, pace this to the whole audience because I mean, this is crazy. So I've been in this industry for 19 years. I've always built online, and I've never, ever, ever seen so many leaders. And I don't mean just within my team. That is true as well. Multiple layers deep, just leaders from all around planet Earth popping in basically daily, 6, 7, 8+ figure earners, master distributors, owners of companies. They're all throughout, not just my team, the entire company, and talking with leaders all over the place. One of the biggest common themes I've seen, and you might hear, I don't want to steal, we're going to bring Matt on here at some point and have him share a little bit, but Matt was one of the first people I saw this with where he wasn't looking to do anything else. He was satisfied with what he was already doing, like so many people. We're talking so many leaders making full time, and I'm not trying to center this just on the leaders because I've heard other versions of this from people all around the world. People that have never ever referred somebody now have gigantic teams. I have a gal named Dawn on my team. She referred 2 people. One of them didn't do much, as in nothing. The other one, Pamela, put in like 4 or 5 people. This was all in like the first couple days. Then they put in a few, they put in a few. And as of now, Dawn has a team of over 500 people. And I remember the first 72 hours, Dawn was like, Jason, I don't know what's going on. And I'm looking in the back office. I'm like, Dawn, I don't know what's going on. You're down like 10 generations already. And I know some of these things they may not mean something to some of you, but I just it's so many leaders around the world that have now stopped marketing other things or put things on the back burner and now are either mostly in or all in with Save Club. And I've also noticed the longer people are in, the more days, the more they start seeing like, okay, something special is happening here. And it's we have this digital membership, so we're borderless, we're instantly open in 150 160 countries from day one, and it's only $20 a month. Everybody in the world can afford this. Everybody in the world needs to save money anyway, and the comp plan is incredible. And we have all these things coming together, and then like Pete was sharing, Charles is just a workhorse. He's incredible. He's amazing. That when Pete was talking about they were in Vegas, and I would have been out there, but I was in the middle of a home move. If you see boxes and chaos behind me, that's why I put these pictures up. And so, um, I was on the phone with them, and they're driving around, and Charles' knees all messed up, and he could barely. So that he's dropping Pete off at this incredible concert at the Sphere out there, and then Charles and I just stayed on the line, and we talked for like over an hour, and I got to know him even better because I was getting to know him before that. I was doing some tech work for him in the company early on, and that's what introduced me to some of this. And I was like, this is so genius what they're doing, the AI things they're working on, and that's what my initial conversations with Charles were around. And so we'll talk a little bit about some of that, but you know, getting to know Charles, and I just started asking him a little bit about his background. What's his life all about? What excites him and everything. And I just realized like his heart is in the right place. He's incredibly driven. He's incredibly intelligent. He's by far the greatest CEO and visionary that I've ever, you know, been able to work with in this whole industry. And normally, I guess this is a good time that, normally I don't look at pre-launches. And I created a rule many, many years ago of like, if a company's not at least 2 years old, I don't even look at it. And then I kind of refined it at, 6, 12 months minimum. But we're actually running with a similar compensation plan and a similar, we have some foundation up in front of us from another company that was not all digital, and they put in 1.8, maybe 1.9 million members now in just 2.5 years. And so when I realized all that, and I bring that up because it helped me to have a lot more, not just getting to know Charles more deeply. And that's why Pete and I are sharing more of like behind the scenes, who is Charles Mui, because you get to know him a little bit on the webinars, and I believe there'll be a day where he's like more in the behind the scenes, and hopefully we get to know a lot about him because he's just an incredible guy. But it really helped me to know we're running on the tracks of something that has created or matched some of the biggest records in the 90-year history of this industry. So almost 2 million members in 2.5 years. I don't know if anybody's ever done that, and if they have, it's that company's right up there. And so many people here, and what I'm trying to do is relay not just what Jason Cardamone has seen and not just what Pete has seen, but what I'm hearing from literally dozens, like we're talking centuries of experience in the industry. And across all of them, I keep hearing like, this is amazing what we're doing. And they talk about the digital, the savings, it's low cost. Everybody in the world, like every person I know, all my loved ones, all my friends, everybody I know online, they need what we have. A lot of them need it like financially. Like if they like Jose's thing that I shared, he saved 768 or 700 some dollars, and he mentioned he wasn't able to get those passes previously. That so he just upgraded the quality of his life, and he saved more than 2 years worth of his membership because it's only $20 a month. And so that is why I'm so excited. That's one reason why, because people get to raise the quality of their life. Or the average household that goes bankrupt, they're like only $200 or $300 away from having to file bankruptcy or not. And we have something that can save people already. We don't even have all the deal. And there's many countries where we don't have the deals in there yet. Remember, guys, we're still in pre-launch. That is all coming. Charles is working fast and furious on all of that. But, you know, understanding that a person can come in here, they have a chance to save 50, 100, a couple $100 a month. That very well might be the difference of whether their household had to file bankrupt, go bankrupt or not. And that's just this keeps me up late at night. I've had so many late nights, way past my normal bedtime, and I get up early, and I'm just excited to help more people. And so, Pete, what are you feeling? What are you thinking?
That was great. Yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, yeah, I love Charles, and I have about 10 or 12 friends that feel the same way. So it's not just me. We all love Charles. So
Yeah.
that always made me feel better about being tight with him. But yeah, a lot of the deals we're negotiating, guys, we're not just doing third party, click on this, it goes to that. Charles realized that a lot of these places were keeping the cash back and only sharing a small part of it with their referral partners. So he went direct with a lot of them. So remember, we got to put, Save Club logos on different things. It's going to be a direct feed. We're not just going to share somebody else's, site and then give away, most of the cash back. We want to share that with the members. So just be patient. Trust me, I wouldn't be doing this if this was not as in depth as I know it's going to be, because it would just be some of the same. A lot of these companies have existed before. They never got outside the United States. They never did much more than just share third-party apps and stuff like that. That is not us, guys. I'm telling you, we're going to be leaps and bounds way, way past what anybody's ever done with cash back, with discounts, with savings, with incentives. So, and it's gonna literally go across every industry that you can think of. We're gonna disrupt everything because the model is just genius, and nobody's ever done it right. So that's for sure. Do you want to invite up? I think Bob wanted to say something, and Matt wanted to say something, and we can mix it up a little bit by inviting. But no, Matt, are you out there?
Yeah,
Do you see him?
I did. I saw Bob both, Bob and Matt. If you guys can raise your hands again, if they're not still raised, let me, I will pull
Okay.
both of you out.
All
One,
right. Thanks for bearing with us, guys. We're winging it a little bit tonight. We wanted to mix
that's
it up and make it a little bit different than normal. We didn't want to just show you guys slides and everything. We've done about, a few Zooms. So, guys, next week we're really going to step it up. We've got some real professional presenters coming up that are preparing special PowerPoints and special stuff. We're also going to continue to bring up 4 stars, 3 stars. We definitely want to have Kelly, who's crushing it. My buddy Mac is #1 on the leaderboard. Kelly's right behind him. We've got the Angela. I haven't even met this Angela girl. She's got 100 personals. I can't wait to meet her. And she's not even here. She's over in like the UK somewhere. I think it's Angela O'Brien or something. I can't wait to meet her. Edward is crushing it. There's a lot of people that we're going to have on here. We got people in Japan. So we're going to continue to mix it up, give you guys a perspective from lots of cool people. And, I'm so excited, man. I really am. I've never really been in a perfect spot where I really loved what I was doing. I really loved my last company because we had good culture and stuff, but you know, it wasn't exactly what I was looking for because it was kind of expensive and it was product and stuff. Now I can help people in 50 different ways. It's not just one little nichey, weight loss or things like that. And those are great. But now I really feel like I can help anybody. Like I would show this to my next door neighbor. I would tell
yep,
my aunt to do this. I have never, honestly, I've
totally.
never had something before where I didn't feel uncomfortable, like begging my relative to buy something so I could hit a qualifier or something. And I have done that before multiple times, but it is what it is, nobody's safe when you're an MLMer. Did you find Matt?
Yeah, so Pete, what I like to do, I want to bring out Matt Jameson. I'd love to introduce him here because I have some history, and then I'll throw it over to you and have you introduce Bob, and we'll bring him out if that is cool with you. So everybody, I'm bringing out my friend Matt Jameson, and I have to tell you, so I had initially tried the industry back in '98 when I was just out of college, and it was crazy, and I just left what I thought was going to be forever. And I came back in May of 2006 with the intention to build network marketing teams using the power of the internet. Now, this was way before social media and internet, and I was a black sheep. Nobody thought you could do all this. And my first mentor, and he wasn't my direct sponsor, but he was my sponsor's sponsor, is Matt Jameson from New Brunswick, Canada, as I'm sure you're going to hear. And so I am so grateful to be sharing, be introducing Matt here. He is one of the very first people on my team to hit 3 star. We've only worked in the reverse where he was always my upline or sponsor in different things. And I'm just, I'm sure he'll share a version of this, but I really, really did not think Matt would do anything at all. And I know he was super busy with the things he was doing, and I was like, there's no way. And he happened to see a Facebook Live I was doing, and it caught his interest. He was paying attention. And so he kind of checked it out and he kind of snuck in and I'll allow him to tell how his commitment levels, what has happened over the past few weeks here. But I am just so blown away. Matt has put myself and Pete as well and Charles as well. We've been on multiple Zooms with multiple teams all around the world. Matt has opened up South Africa. I'm there. I know there's other places too. I can't even keep track of them all. But Matt is a machine. He is a deep student. He has been preaching Think and Grow Rich, the book, since I met him in 2006, and he still preaches it consistently. And so I don't I could go on forever, but super excited. I just want you guys to hear from, and also realize Matt is not in the US. He is in Canada, and he doesn't have all the deals. So he's in a country, kind of like Pete was talking about, Angela Holmes from the UK. Matt Jameson is getting up there on the leaderboard, and he's from Canada, and he's here in pre-launch, and he is connecting with people in all countries and doing it incredibly well. So Matt, can you
I want to
jump
say
right?
one last thing about
Yes,
Matt,
do it,
because
man.
I was a big fan of Matt, and I knew him, but now I've learned to be, we've become good friends. And everything. But what I love about Matt is he keeps me and Jason and Charles on our toes. Like he'll be like, "Hey man, I need that Google Drive, or where's the recording?" And I'll be like, "Hey, I'll get it." And he'll be like, "No, I want it now. People need it." So he's such a freaking action taker, which I love because it drives me to want to get more and more done. So thank you, Matt. You've really helped improve my performance and speed at which we get things done. I love
Let
it.
me. I so Matt, it's probably going to prompt you to go to a panelist. Matt, if you could click on. There we go. I think it should allow your video once it does that. Ask to start. There we go. There we go. Okay, Matt, take it away, brother.
Guys, a check's in the mail, really. Kind words. I'm humbled to be here. Wow. Jason, yeah, meeting you back in 2006 when you were just getting started in the industry was pretty awesome. I had just figured out in April of 2000, I partnered with that best-selling author in that company, and I started really understanding how to use the internet to attract people to me, to little tiny websites, collect an email, and everything we're doing today, guys and gals. The same exact thing I started doing 25 years ago this year. And, I've had my successes and I've had my failures. Back then, I used to be a truck driver. So even though I drove a truck, I always did something on the side. It allowed my ex-wife to raise my daughter and not put her in daycare. It allowed us to take vacations. It allowed us to have all the stuff. I did go through a divorce, and then I met my amazing wife, Shelly, that I'm married to now. But I still had always had a home-based business. And then she joined me full-time in the industry in 2011 with the company. We absolutely crushed that company. We were the highest ranked, highest paid in Canada, east of Montreal. But then that company made some mistakes and made bad decisions. And anyway, that income disappeared. I tried a couple other things, and then I went back into the workforce after being full-time network. But on July 28th of 2023, I quit my job. I went back full-time to being an entrepreneur, sold the house in the city. We live on 50 acres here in Salmon River, New Brunswick, Canada. If you follow me or see me on Facebook, you'll see the river. Anyway, I'm getting too long-winded here, but I'm just giving you some history and some background. But I never quit on myself, folks. I never quit. I knew this would work. Jason talks about Think and Grow Rich. I keep it on my desk. That how to win friends and influence people, personal development. I knew that mindset was key, and I never quit. And I've had a few companies quit on me, and it sucks. But folks, I wasn't looking, as Jason said, I wasn't looking at this. I jumped on a live that he was on, and he was talking very vaguely, but very distinctly at the same time. And I said, all right, what's going on? So I messaged Jason, and then I had multiple other people message me within literally, I think within a half an hour, 2 hours, or a day, whatever it was. Multiple people started reaching out to me as well. I'm like, all right, something's going on. But I wasn't really looking. And I said, well, Jason, maybe I'll just take a position. I think I'm just going to take a position, see what happens. Like, But as I got into it, and by the way, what they're saying about Charles is absolutely true, 100%. I've known Charles as well for about 17 or 18 years. I forget when I met Charles originally back in the day. And yeah, I guess you could say I'm a dinosaur networker. But it is what it is. I'm only 51 years old, and like I said, we live here debt free, and the industry's been good to me even when it wasn't good to me. But then it was good to me. And anyway, moral stories, folks. We have a product that everybody needs. They need to save money. The cost of eggs, the cost of gas, the cost of rent, the cost of insurance, the cost of groceries, inflation, these freaking tariff wars that we're having in the U.S. and Canada. It sucks. But you know how you can protect yourself? Is you can go out and make more money. But now you can go out and save money and make more money. But not only that, you can make money helping people save money. Mind blown. And when Pete's talking about, and what Jason's talking about, the fact that this isn't just Uphold or Uprise or whatever some of these other third-party app companies are for savings. No, this is proprietary. What Charles is inked, and do we say that China's got an ink deal in India? Oh yeah. Charles talked about that, so I'm not letting anything out of the bag. But what you guys didn't talk about was you kind of scratched on the AI, but there's some AI stuff, folks, that is going to help you. What if it would invite people for you on your behalf to the webinars? What if it would text them, call them, email them, whatever their preference is, it's going to interact with them? What if I said it was going to do it in every language around the world? I said every language around the world. So what is your job? Your job is to share this with everybody that you care about, because sharing is caring, or caring is sharing, whatever you want to, however you want to say it, but everybody needs to save money. And so, yeah, I dove in with both feet. You're right. I met a guy on TikTok from South Africa. We connected in another digital marketing program. Jason touched on it. Digital products, no borders, no shipping issues, no headaches, nothing like that. An offer. And I connected with a guy there, and he's opened up. I believe he was one of the very first, if not the first gentleman in South Africa. I'm sure there's other people that are starting to go in, right? He's ripping apart South Africa. I just enrolled somebody in Kenya this evening. Super excited. And we're just, it just makes sense to so many people. It's $19.97. I know people that smoke cigarettes, and no offense if you do, but I'm just giving an example that costs $20 a pack or more here in Canada a day, right? Or Starbucks, or going to Dunkin' Donuts, Tim Hortons, and so on and so forth. So it's very affordable. And like Jason or Pete, I forget who said, but the compensation structure, the revenue sharing plan, it's powerful. And some people say, oh, you can't make any money on a $20 membership. Bull crap, you can't. I'm mind blown by my weeklies. There's something called a VIP annual membership, folks. Number one, it's like an annual membership, just like your Costco membership. Oh, and did you know you can save 40% on the bigger Costco membership and 20% on the lower one, I think, through our Save Club? That might pay for a big chunk of your membership right there for the year. But you get started with the VIP if you can. If not, get started on the monthly plan. It's only $80 to get started, $20 a month. But whatever you can do, start where you can. But I did the annual. I already made like enough to pay for 5 or 6 or 7. I failed math, guys and gals. I'm serious. I failed math. But I paid, like, my membership's paid for itself for years. So anyway, super excited to be here. Super simple. The system that we have, this is a proven system. Jason, you were saying we're a startup, right? And I have the same rules as you do. I don't get involved with startups anymore. I've had too many sinking. So, and listen, every company starts out as a startup. I'm just sick of taking the arrows and sinking the ship sometimes. But we've got a brand new grocery store in your community, folks, with a Walmart infrastructure. That's what you need to understand. The sister company, or not sister, whatever, 1.8 million, 1.9 million paying customers, 2.5 years, proved the model. Completely disrupted it. I missed it. I laughed at it. I balked it. And I said, no, that's not going to work. This is what the heck? Well, I was wrong. I admit it. I was wrong. I'm not going to miss this. I'm not going to be wrong about this. And neither should any of you. 6,128 people or 6,200 people in the company right now. That's it, folks. That's it. So let me ask you a question. How many of the other 1.8 million people do you want to have in your organization? How many people are you going to introduce to this? And how many people are you going to help save money and make money helping people save money? Back to you, Jason. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate being here. Charles, you are the man for starting this company. And I think we're going to help so many people and influence so many people around the globe. We're just getting started, folks. Don't sit in your hands here. Go out, become 1-star, enroll 2 people. Teach everybody to go out and get 1-star and enroll just 2 people, and your organization will flourish. But you know what? The more you enroll, the bigger fast starts, the bigger coded bonuses, and the bigger paychecks you're going to make. And it comes down to this product. I'm mind blown. And I wish I know some stuff too, guys, because I talk to Charles quite frequently. Actually, I talk to him all day long through WhatsApp, and we bounce ideas off there. So there's so much stuff coming. You guys are going to be mind blown. And if you're sitting on the fence, take a position and do what I did at first, and maybe just think about it. But if you take massive action, I believe it will change your life. Only if you take massive action. Thoughts or things, folks. Anything the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve. Okay? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So which one are you going to be? And that's the wrong book. This book here. Sorry. It's all comes out of there. So back to you guys. Thanks for having me on. Super stoked to be here.
Thank you, Matt. That was awesome. I could listen to you all night. I don't even know why me and Jason are here. We should have just let you do it. We'll get there.
Checks in the mail, man. Thank you.
But man, you look 29, bro. And you know what I love about you, dude? But way before Save Club, you've been preaching. I've been listening, obviously, intently. You've been preaching fiscal responsibility, debt-free. You set yourself up with this beautiful, just beautiful life up there with your wife. And I love, that's what people need to hear. Not the Lambos and all that. Get debt-free. Get your own piece of paradise and don't have the stress.
I've had the BMWs. I've had all that stuff, Pete. Exactly. You know what? I don't need it anymore. I'd rather debt free is the new rich for me. mortgage free, 50
Yeah.
acres, four-wheelers, snowmobiles, side-by-sides, new, you know what I mean? Like new John Deere tractor, 2025 pickup. And I'm not to brag or both, folks, just to say what's possible, but I
Yeah,
recommended on
that
a live
stuff's all
TikTok
great,
today,
Yeah,
The Automatic Millionaire by David Bach.
right.
Add up what you're spending on a daily basis. We've sacrificed really hard to have what we have, but we also work our freaking asses off. Back to you, man. Appreciate you
Right.
guys.
Rolexes are great, but they don't make phone calls. So the
Yeah,
Apple Watch
I
makes
got a
phone calls.
Movado. It's
There
a
you go.
nice looking watch. That's it. Whatever.
It is a good thing. You're a handsome man. So thank you very much. That was awesome, and that's one of our big leaders here, and you'll be seeing him again. And Jason, back to you. Let's continue with our Zoom. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And yes, Jason, you back?
Yes,
Oh,
I am. So,
oh, there you go.
Matt,
Okay, cool.
I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for sharing with everyone. And I actually thought, Matt touched on the AI, and I want to see if I can get to the slide really quickly because this is what I was initially with Charles. I don't know if I can or not, but so as Matt was mentioning, there's three pieces to the AI mechanisms behind the scenes. Now, this stuff is not implemented yet. It's coming. I don't have a time frame, but it's coming. And so let me do the screen share right here.
Yeah, real
Uh,
soon is a good time frame. Real
yes,
soon.
yes, real soon. Share the screen. Okay, so you should you should see powered by AI on the screen. Now, on the left here, customer service, training, and sales. So these are the three components when I was first talking with Charles, and he was explaining here. First of all, so I was programming when I was a tiny kid. I have a computer science and math degree, and I was learning AI in the late 90s in college. So like I go way, way back, and I'm probably one of the deepest people, especially behind the scenes AI stuff that you'll meet. And so one of the big things here is that first of all, our entire future is AI. I was bringing all that up to say Charles is the first person I've met in the network marketing industry that not just understands a good chunk of AI, but he also understands the vision and the importance of it. And one of the very first things he said on that first call with me, him, and Pete, and he was like, you know, I I don't see other companies doing this, and I want to be the one of the very first companies to embrace AI hardcore. And here's the ways I wanted to do it. I want to be part of our customer service, part of our training, part of our sales. And so I don't know if there's not really individual slides on it, but what Matt was referring to is the sales piece of the AI. And so that piece is when a person goes into your power line, they enter their name, their email, their phone number, they will get a phone call, they will get text messages, and the emails that a person can respond to. All of those will be managed by AI behind the scenes. And I some of you may not know this, probably a lot of people don't know this. AI is so advanced right now that you can take a 2-minute clip of one of your loved ones, like a video, feed it in with someone who knows what they're doing, and you could have a Zoom conversation, and a percentage of humans will not know they're not actually on Zoom with their loved one. I know that will be shocking to some of you. That is where we are already at. And we are predicted in the next 5 to 10 years 1 million fold more powerful. So just realize like this is only going to get more and more powerful. And so if you have doubts that you can write emails back and forth or have phone conversations or text messages with an AI and have think it's like not most people will not know it's an AI. Now, I believe we have mechanisms in place where they will know that before too long. But the point is, this is our entire future. And so that will help. All you have to do is get people into the system, and the sales AI bot takes over. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't keep developing a personal relationship with the people you introduce. But I know some internet marketers that will not do that, and they'll just like let the system take care of it for them. And this will drastically increase the number of pre-enrollees that you put in that then turn into paid members. And then we also have the main one I'll talk about is the customer service. So on the back end, currently we have an incredible, the lead of customer service is from Google. He's an incredible guy. And like the first conversations with him, so I have some tech service background as well. The things he was telling me, I was like, he so knows what he's doing. Like I knew we would be in good hands. We will have heavy lifting by AI, entire databases. And by the way, this has already been like lots and lots of work on all of this, that every question that ever comes in, we will curate and make sure we have the perfect answer. Because most questions that come in, they're all the same thing that we've heard before, or I'm talking through the help desk perspective. So when the help desk gets additional questions, if it's a brand new question, the AI has a big enough database where it'll probably know the answer, but we can still step in and check it on our end. But the majority of questions, they're the same thing. And whether it's asked dozens, hundreds, as we get bigger, it'll be thousands of times a day, certain questions, and it's all being handled by AI. So we don't need this giant call center with 50 reps on silly headphones like I'm on right now, and headsets talking to people. And there's nothing wrong with that, but AI is so good that we now get to leverage that. And you know what that does for you? It allows this compensation plan to pay out up to 80.5%. Why? Because we don't have $100,000 overhead to the customer service department. And we don't have all these giant overheads and things because we're utilizing technology to do some of that heavy lifting. And so I probably stayed on this too long, and I'm trying to stop.
Don't leave some for Charles. Don't take it all.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop the screen share, and I can't find the buttons, but I will find it in a moment. And oh, here,
yeah,
stop
just
share.
to touch on that while he's doing that, guys. So the most important thing, I have a guy on my team who's a 4-star. He had only showed it to 4 people, guys. Mark, it's not always about being the biggest recruiter and everything. If that's what you're good at, then man, have at it. You're going to get lots and lots of fast starts. I'm more of a strategic recruiter. I'm not that high on the leaderboard, but I do have the biggest team because I'm strategic. So whatever your skills are, just work with your skills, guys, and just exploit that. So again, 4 people. The enroller tree is what's important because your biggest check. The biggest chunk of your check is going to be your overrides, your fast start generational bonuses. Okay. I know everybody gets worked up on spillover and stuff like that. Your generational check match is what's going to make you a fortune at this company. Also, you want to get in the pools. The way you get in the pools is you build balance. So go out and get 4 people. You can have up to 30% of your team come from one leg. Okay. 30% of your check rather can come from one leg. That means 30, 30, 30 adds up to 90. So you still need a little bit more. So you want to have 4 legs going. The 4th leg could be tiny. It could be only 10% of your check, but you want to have that going. Everybody that can hear us can go get 4 people. This is brand new. Hardly anybody's heard of it. You think a lot of people have heard of it because we're in a small circle on Facebook or whatever. But guys, it's barely on TikTok. Nobody's on Instagram. Nobody's on LinkedIn. Nobody's on Pinterest. Nobody's doing Craigslist. There's a million places you can share this and nobody's ever heard of it. And even Facebook, there's like 2 billion people on there. Our little crowd has heard of it, but get out there, talk to people, share the reels. We've made probably 50 reels already. And guys, I could have never, ever made any of the stuff that's been created already. And I actually was mad at myself because I never learned a lot of those skills. Now it's all done for me. Pictures, we've got a great affiliate group. People have groups going on, chats going on. We've got a Save Club affiliate page. You can share the different things. We'll gladly hand you the Google Drive files if you want to, download them and share them from there. Whatever you want, guys. We're all one big team, one big family. Still a very small community. We got some really great leaders. In fact, I got a friend Bob on here. Bob's got a really cool, unique way of building where he helps people get their 4, and then they help get their 4. Really solid foundation. I'm learning a lot about that because I didn't know how to do that before. And Bob's built an incredible team already, and he's rocking this thing. And I am very blessed. Guess whose team Bob is on? Yay, me. So, and I didn't know him before. So, making new friends and relationships and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, I never really, there's nothing wrong with having a job. I haven't had a job in a long, long time, but I always wanted the things somebody had at a job that they love. I wanted security, right? I wanted to make lifelong friendships. I wanted to work on projects with people that I like over long periods of time. And I don't want to jump around, man. I do not want to jump around. I want to do this for a decade or more and have fun and really do things together. And there's nothing wrong with the people that like people can handle 8 or 10 different things and stuff like that. That's not me. I really just want to be part of one great idea, the greatest idea in my purview anyway, and that is Save Club. And Bob, are you there? You can come out and say hello and get us fired up if you're available, buddy.
Yes, sir. Man,
Oh, perfect.
I don't know how I'm gonna after Jason and after Matt and we didn't even have Charles on here. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, first of all I can tell you is a couple of quick things because first of all, this is not about me. Okay, Jesus is my boss. Just so everybody's clear of how I roll. And 9 months ago, a very good friend of mine, Gary Afron, who is my business partner, and he's so talented, this guy, but I kid him because I'm 68 years old and he's 70 something years old. So I'm a dinosaur, but he's an older dinosaur. And so we go way back, and just real quickly from 2000 to 2007, I couldn't do anything, Jason. I couldn't do anything right. And it took me 7 years to realize that I needed a mentor. And once I got a mentor, I'll never forget this day. Real quickly, I'll never forget this day because it was February of 2007. And this guy says, look, Bob, he goes, if you're coachable, I'm going to take you under my wing. And if you apply what I teach you, I'm going to guarantee you one thing, that 6 months from now, you're not going to be where you are today. Jason, have you ever heard that before? Somebody ever say that to you before?
I have. I
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
And so I said his name was Rex Harris, and he's still a very close friend of mine and still a mentor. But I said, Rex, I said, listen, I grew up in this and wanted to do work from home and be able to take care of my family. My wife and I have our 38th anniversary on May the 23rd, guys. And this month has just been so special so far. But I tell her, Leanne is my queen, and I will do anything to protect my queen, my Princess Megan, my Prince Charming, Sean, and my family, as you guys would do. Am I wrong, Jason? Am I wrong, Pete? I don't think so. And the long story short about my life is just fast forward to 2020 because I actually owned an internet property for 3 years. PayPal shut it down. We've all been through the PayPal debacle stuff, and then I actually got the opportunity to do a startup with some people that I've known for a long time, and we built a couple of leaders, Amy Carpenter and I, and Beverly, and a number of different leaders. We built ourselves up to, in a 7-year period. It took me 4 years to get to diamond, but I got to the top. But like we hear a lot, before Ben and Nodder and them created that phenomenon that we all know now today, at the end of the day, Jason, I was spending $300 a month to keep my rank and to get paid. And I didn't need all of that stuff. I didn't need it all, but I had to do it. And if I didn't, I would lose my check. And I know you understand that, right?
Yep.
So then all of a sudden, one day, boom, just like we're experiencing now with Modera and other companies, the guys that own it were close to us, I thought, and just shut it down. And so back to work I went. Okay. Back to work I went. And then in 2020, after 10 years back in corporate America again, okay, so I've got like 40 years total experience, 25 online and offline. I've worked and built companies from the ground up, online and offline, and I got to retire in 2020. And we talk about retiring debt free. My wife retired before I did. I retired 5 years after her, and we retired the next year after that completely debt free, Jason. Completely debt free. And there's nothing more free with your freedom than being completely debt free. Am I wrong, Jason? No, no, I'm not. Because look, the goal here for my team and I was to do one thing and one thing only. Is once we got an opportunity to work together, we were going to teach everybody to do one thing. Gary Afron and I came up with a system where what Pete was talking about, we actually tweaked this on another company that we're still involved with. And Jason, we went with only two referrals. He had two, I had two. We started that way. And this was a theory of ours. We did this on paper because there was no website, there was no link. We couldn't even use the company name for 2 months, Jason. But in 8 months, Gary and I took two people each, and we built that to a team of 130,000 people in 62 countries. 130,000 people in 62 countries. And I'm going to show you, you're talking about showing books. Okay, maybe you can't see it because it's a little blurred. But this book was given to me by another mentor of mine, Dr. Stan Harris, aka Dr. Breakthrough. Okay, this book is How to Build a Team Fast. I read this book 10 months ago. I think we learned something, Jason. I think we learned something. And so that was the test. And so then we started looking at Save Club, and I got a chance to meet Charles, and I got a chance to speak with Pete. And lo and behold, we started looking at our leadership. We said, okay, look, we're parked over here waiting for the ownership of this other company to get things straightened out. And it looks like they're going to get that straightened out. And that's great because they owe us a lot of money. Okay. Like you hear about a lot of companies and startups. Okay. This is not that. What I want you to understand is my biggest leader is in India. Rupjit is my biggest leader, and she is the #1 leader in all of India for Save Club right now. My biggest leader in China and Asia is the #1 leader in China and Asia right now for this company in Save Club. I've got a leader that is just starting in where the Philippines. Okay, I wanted to work with the Philippines for a long time. Okay, and my good friend and teammate down the street from me, Jeff McBee, God bless that man. He works his butt off. He works 60 hours a week. He donates his time on Saturdays with Isaiah 58 Ministries. He is a beast working to keep his family fed and give the opportunity to do what? To become financially debt free eventually, because I teach this. It's part of what we do. Okay. I've got another team leader up in Oklahoma City, David Gwynn. Okay. I've got another team leader in Canada, Joe Anthony. And Norman is our guy in the Philippines. And Norman is also very close to one of the crown directs of a company we all know. Okay. So we're talking to them. And also, I want to get with Charles because we have connections to another diamond that is, his name is Sal. And he's in Vegas, Pete. He's in Vegas, right there next door to Charles, somewhere in Vegas. So I will tell you that.
Well, we'll have to put them together for lunch for sure.
Yep, well, we'll do that. That's next week. And
yeah.
ask Pete. Hey, Pete, how many times a day do you and I get to talk about what's going on in China, in Asia, in India, in Philippines, where we're trying to get 70% of my team going, right?
You're on for a few hours a day helping people. You're definitely a servant leader. All right. Well, thank you, Bob. You can definitely come on again. Charles wanted us to keep this within an hour, so
I was about 2 minutes
left. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Matt. We didn't get to play the videos. I don't know if you guys want to listen for another minute. Jason might want to play the videos, but I'm going to go to the busiest restaurant in California here. And we hope you guys have a wonderful Friday night.
I hope you're
Jason, do you
saving
have
money.
those queued up?
Pete, I hope
Yeah,
you're saving
Upgrade,
money there.
upgrade
Yes.
before midnight
Yeah,
Pacific
upgrade
Standard
before
Time. I know
midnight,
Jason's going to say
exactly.
it. Get upgraded, folks. Let's get this
exactly.
deal
So
back to Jason.
So,
Don't wait.
guys, we're gonna go just slightly past an hour, but there's two really important things. So I want to show you a couple short videos. It's only like 1:40 and 2:30, and we're gonna play both those videos, and then we're gonna close this out. And I want you to understand the importance and what's about to happen tonight at midnight Pacific. And so that it's a critical part
And
of
tell them
every
we got
Friday.
new landing pages. We got new landing pages coming out for you guys. So.
Exactly. So that's where. So
And training in the back office, Jason. Training's already in the back office.
Excellent. So we're going to do a screen share again here, and we're going to pull up. So I want you to imagine specific pages that are different from the ones we have that have this type of video that speak to a very specific type of person. And we will eventually have not just several, but we will eventually have dozens and dozens of different videos that speak to different types of people, you know, whether they want to save money, they want to make money, they're focused more on travel. And I don't want to spoil it all, but I want to play a couple of these shorter videos real quickly. So, oh, let me get the sound correct on Zoom. My apologies, everybody. I want this to look and sound really good for you. So hold on. There's an option in Zoom. Hold on, I got to stop it. More video. Video settings. Display. Hang on one second. Audio settings. And play. Where is it? Dang it. Because if I don't set this, you're not going to be able to like hear it correctly. Share screen. Oh wait, it's when you go to share, it's on. That's right here. I got it. Sorry guys. Share
You found
sound.
it? Okay, I was just going to tell you.
Come on. Screen one. It's not allowing me to click shares. I'm not able to share. You guys tell me, just cancel real quickly. If this doesn't sound good right when I start it, let me know. And we'll just get these out separately.
Can't hear a thing, Jason. Can't hear a
All
thing.
right.
You got to make sure that you do this share button.
Yeah, guys, the share button is not, it's not allowing me to click it. It's literally grayed out. So we're not going to be able to do the video. So here's the deal. Every Friday at midnight Pacific, this has only happened 2 other times in company history so far. What happens is every time when your people come into the power line, and so if you're here and you pre-enrolled, I'm just going to talk directly to you, but this works the same for everybody in the company. So when you entered your name, your email, and optionally your phone number, you get entered into a giant power line. Now what happens is that you're timestamped. So the order of when you entered your name and email to pre-enroll matters because you may be above hundreds, thousands, you might even be above tens of thousands of people depending on when you first entered your name and email. And so what happens is that every Friday night at midnight Pacific here, coming up in about 5 hours from this very moment, all of the people in the power line who have paid move over and get placed into the matrix. Everybody who doesn't pay stays over in the power line. So let's say there's a couple people here in the power line, and if you're here, let's say you're here at the very top, and if you don't pay tonight by midnight, and let's say 2 of these people do, they go above you and they get placed into the priority. They follow their sponsor over into the matrix, and then you lose the priority and they pass by. So instead of the opportunity for them to possibly be on your team, you end up on their team if you pay down the road, whether it's next week, a few weeks, or a month or whatever down the road. And so because the company is so early on, we're still at the very top levels of the matrix through the bigger perspective. And so if you think of it through the company down, there's 2 people at the top, there's 4 people, there's 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, all the way down, going down and down and down and down. And right now, you have a chance to be in the very top portions of where we're at, because in the course of the weeks, the months to come, I'll give an example. We have, as of right now, we have approximately 6,213 members or so who have all paid. Only 6,000 people. So when the company has 100,000, you would have gotten in, if you make a decision tonight, you would have been in the top 6% of everybody who's in. But then, if you were to make that same decision tonight, by the time the company is at 1 million members, which is Charles' target by the end of 2025, you're now in the top fraction of 1% of people who joined the company. And because it's a force matrix, a lot of levels are going to be filled. And, we can't promise anything. You could end up in a position where it might take a while. But, the best thing to do is for you to start, get in, get your position locked in, plug into our training, share some of the reels, whether they're branded or not. And there's all kinds of stuff. And there's training going into the back. In fact, we have our new training tab in the back office. So I will actually, it has the 10-step video. That's all it has right now. So I'm just going to leave that. We have the marketing materials back there as well. And so in that training tab, you will see it start to flesh out. So that will be one of your resources. Many teams also have private team training, just like Bob was describing this, what he does for his team, and same thing for other teams. And so you want to get plugged in, you want to take action, and you want to get going. And even if you're not ready for that, at least just get in. I'll share something, is that our very first, when we were first launching, we have different types of colleague. Some people are completely cold. They don't really know you. Some people are like your closest friends, where you can like kind of strong arm and be like, listen, there's something amazing happening. You have to join this thing. So these are 3 of my closest friends, right? That I can be like, you have to go join this thing. Well, only one of them ended up joining, and the other 2 did not pay. They still haven't paid. So they're way, way high up in the power line, but they still haven't paid. They have now had 6,000 people pass above them with where they could have been in the matrix. They just didn't understand what they were missing out on. And they just hadn't watched the 6-minute video. They didn't watch the 10-minute video I did, the heartfelt video that I did directly for them. They didn't watch the hour-long presentation from Charles, and we have several of those now. And tonight we want to do something a little different from the typical presentation, just to give some different angles, some different perspectives for you. But what happened was that at some point, some week, some month, maybe it'll take them a year, I don't know when, I don't have the heart to tell them what they just missed out on by not just simply paying for their position. And it's either, so if you're here as a pre-enrollee, it's $20 a month. There's a $60 annual affiliate fee. So it's $80 up front and then $20 a month starting a month later. Or you just upgrade to VIP annual and you cover the entire year for just under $300. Now, the reason why you might want to consider that is because as you introduce people to this, if they upgrade to VIP annual, there's additional money that's paid out from that. If you're the direct sponsor, there's $10, and then there's other stuff that comes down. So I left a few messages for people today. Today is payday. We just got paid several hours ago. And there was a few people on my team that I had introduced, and they had introduced people, but VIP annuals had upgraded, but they were still monthly members. So it went directly up to me. I got the $10. And then Pete's my sponsor. So Pete got $5 just because we were already annual. And so if money's super tight, totally understand this. Don't do something irresponsible, but I want you to understand there's extra pay you can get by committing for the next year. So let me paint a little story. What if my friends that didn't pay, what if they had just thrown the $300 in and said, I've wasted thousands or tens of thousands. I might as well just gamble because Jason is super excited about this thing. And what if they just sat
No
there for
problem,
months
Pete.
and didn't do anything? And all of a sudden they
I just
realize
wanted to
what
make
they
sure
have
I
their hands on
recognize my
here,
leaders
and now they get engaged and
around the
they could have
world.
already had
And I got
a
to do
really
that.
special place.
Bob,
And
you're not muted, sir.
so you have that opportunity here with what we have in front of us. We are so early. Guys, this is going to be amazing in a year from now. It is still going to be an amazing opportunity in 12 months from now. It wouldn't make any sense like, oh yeah, it's just not good anymore. It is just extra special. Again, I'll just relay things that I've heard in many conversations that I've had with people all around the world. And I've heard so many people say, the effort we put in today, it's going to take 3 to 5 to 10 times more effort in 6 and 12 months from now. And the reason for that is because we only have 6,000 people in. I look over my screen because this is like the side. We only have between 25, 26,000 pre-enrollees. Do you realize what percentage of humanity that is? If you just look at the US, let's just round it off to 300 million people. If there were 250,000, we would only have 10% pre-enrolled. If there were 2.5 million, it would be 1% pre-enrolled. If it were 25 million people, it'd be 0.1%. 250 million, 0.01% of the United States has pre-enrolled. But you have to understand, we have Japan blowing up. We have South Africa blowing up. We have parts of Europe, parts of China, parts of Canada. So we're not talking about the little 300 million in US. We're talking 8 billion people around the planet. Nobody knows about this. The vast majority of big influencers, network marketers, affiliate marketers, they have no idea what Safe Club is. So whatever you may or may not be seeing on social media, it shows you what you type and what you read about, and the posts that you click like on and what you comment on, and the posts that you linger on the most. So the algorithms will continue to show you Save Club, Save Club, Save Club. So you may feel like you're seeing it everywhere. It's nowhere. Nobody knows about this. And so just that alone gives you this incredible opportunity. And here's something I've shared with tons of people that I've seen again and again throughout my career is that most of the leaders, they don't join you directly. Like I just had an 8-figure earner. They joined like 3 levels down back like a week ago. I have all kinds of influential people from all around the world. They are all kinds of levels. We have a diamond from another company down 10 generations deep on my team. I didn't know like 8 of the people that ended up bringing him in. I just knew Don, and Don brought in a gal named Pamela that I didn't know. That's 2. Don is 1, Pamela is 2, and it goes down 10, and then this gigantic guy is just building like crazy, and he's way high up on the leaderboard. So are multiple people, but most of those people, they didn't join me directly, and so you never know. You share with a loved one, and they happen to share with a coworker or with a boss or a colleague or whatever, and next thing you know, you have some gigantic influential person that joins and starts to change the course of all of your lives. That is how the majority. It's not. Don't be intimidated by feeling like you have to personally bring in all the leaders, and some people just take time. It's like planting seeds. A lot of people, they might take a few days, a few weeks, although I am seeing incredible duplication rates because everybody needs this. I've heard time and time again, this isn't like selling. This is just something my loved ones need. And so they're actually just sharing with the way I have done network marketing was like Pete was kind of alluding to. There's a lot of friends and family. I tried that my first couple months, and I was like, I got a bunch of people in, but nobody did anything, and they weren't really a good fit and things like that. What I'm hearing now, it's kind of like when you see a special movie and you're like, this movie was so amazing. You have to go see this because this and this, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but man, it's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. And that's exactly how, for so many people, Save Club feels, because you're not selling the movie, you're just excited about it. And so the number of lives I've already seen change, this is what really keeps me so excited. And this is what I'm just going to close with, is that as you're considering whether tonight is the night or daytime, depending, some of you are in the middle of the night, here on live, if this is your chance to lock in, based on everything we've shared, I can't tell you how many people have been tearing up because their life has been impacted, whether it's from state like Jose, that had me tearing up. What I showed, that $768 he saved, he gets to have an extra special experience for his spouse and his two kids that they never could have before. That is absolutely freaking incredible. But that's just one story. I have so many people. My friend Aaron saved on these Nike shoes he never wanted to buy because he's frugal, and he never wanted to buy them, but he was able to save like $30 on them. So he finally bought the shoes he's wanted for months and years, and he couldn't find them anywhere. He's been looking for like a year or two. And there's again and again, Mother's Day flowers. I saw people get like over $100 worth of roses, whether it's for their mom, their spouse, whoever. They got them for like $20, $25, free shipping. Like they save months of the membership. This was all happening like in the first few days, the first week when we launched. And that's just the savings part. And then we have other people who realize their life is starting to change because they have dozens or hundreds of dollars already starting to roll in weekly, or even thousands. And this has already been life-changing for some people who are really, plugging in and going after it. But the thing I get really the most excited about is the people. So I have friends who, all my best friends came through this industry, not all the soccer players I grew up with or the neighbors and things like that. And they were all great people. But, people who love personal development, they love growing, they have a growth mindset, they want to do something more with their life. They're, looking to do more for and with humanity. And, so I have people going back to like when I started 2000, my first year to 2007, 8. I have friends that I've watched them struggle for all these years. They might put a person or two here and there, but they've really never made any money, but they're still around. And it's really because the special environments that have always been created. But now seeing them enroll people, seeing them actually have the confidence to talk to someone that maybe they were intimidated before, like there's something really special happening here. And there are hundreds and hundreds of people throughout the company that Save Club is now in their heart. And watching them, and then as they take action, as Matt was talking about, as they start to take action on some of that, it just is working. There's just a much higher rate. There's people having more success that typically don't have any success. And that is incredibly exciting, because what I know is for other people who maybe it's not quite happening for them yet, I know that their odds to win here are so much greater. And it's the same thing why so many leaders are shifting their focus. And they're like, I was talking with one of my good friends just in the past day or two, and I'm being super vague because I protect everybody's identities and stuff that want to be protected. And they were like, this Save Club is going to save me. And guys and gals, this is a person who's made over $1 million in the industry. And a version of that is this guy right here. It doesn't matter how much I've made. It doesn't matter about the teams of over 100,000 and everything. None of that. What this thing has saved me in the biggest way. And I am so deeply grateful for Charles and his vision. I'm so grateful. Pete almost didn't tell me. Like I start to get like, Pete almost didn't tell me because he thought I wouldn't want to do this because we were something else. We were doing something else and it just wasn't working well. And he was like, there's no way Jason would look at this. But when I got to see this and I got to meet Charles, it got in me, and every single day I'm more committed than the previous days. And so tonight's the deadline.
And now we got to break out the Academy Award music.
So before I completely just start like bawling in front of hundreds of people here, that tonight's the deadline, guys and gals. this very well could change the course of your life. And this is where you get to lock from the power line and lock in your spot in the matrix. So really deeply appreciate every single one of you on here. I know that there are some questions. We tonight is not the correct time where we're able to go through those. So feel free to reach out. Let us know,
I was
what.
in the back answering a bunch of questions. I answered a lot of them. You're
Awesome.
good, brother.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you,
job,
Pete.
man.
Love
Thank
it,
you,
dude.
Bob. Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you all. Guys, we're going to close this out. You know what to do. We've poured our hearts out. This is everything we have for you. So, and if you have questions, please get back with your sponsor. They are probably up. This is like, where we're all up serving our teams for the hours to come. So, you know what to do. Your sponsors, by the way, in your back office. If you don't know how to find them, you just go back there and click on the My Enroller tab. If your sponsor is not responding, it should list your upline 4-star sponsor, and just contact them. Reach out, be noisy, be proactive. Don't be passive, and go grab someone's attention if it's important to you. And we will see you on the inside. So take care, guys. Pete.
That was great from the heart, brother. Thank you so much. God bless you, man.
Love you, bro. Take care, guys.
Thank you, guys.
We're all out. Thank you,
Thank
Bob.
you all.
Thank you, Matt. And thank all of you for all of your attention.